Hey everybody, it's Becky. Welcome back to my channel. I did not break my neck and I do not have whiplash. If you're wondering what's around my neck, you're going to find out in a minute because today I am sharing part 3 of my Amazon favorites. So all different things for art and for home and for personal care. So if you want to see my Amazon favorites, then stay tuned. Okay, so to share with you my first Amazon favorite, and obviously you can see it, it is a shoulder and back massager that I found on Amazon, and it's got these things right here, these little straps that you put your arms through so you can kind of have somewhere to put your arms and also kind of hold down the massager on your shoulders for extra pressure if you want. What I really liked about it though was because it is heated, which I think is nice. I have a lot of shoulder pain and like shoulder blade pain because I don't know, I think I keep a lot of stress in my shoulders and my shoulder blades. A lot of times I wake up with stiffness and soreness, and a long time ago I was told that I have a slight curve in my spine. I don't know if that's what kind of, because I kind of curve this way. I mean, it's not like terrible or anything, but I don't know if that's why there's usually worse pain in my left shoulder. I don't really know why. But I like this because it really gets in as deeply or as gently as I want it to. And it's also heated, which is nice. You can change the rotation of the little things on the inside, so you can kind of get a variation on your massage. It has 3 different speeds and it has 8 of these little nodes on the inside, so you're really hitting lots of spots at once without having a huge machine. And you can even use it in the car if you're a passenger. It does have an adapter for the car. You can plug it up obviously inside with a regular outlet. So I just really think this is good for anybody that does have shoulder pain. If you work at a desk a lot, which pretty much all of us do, I think even if you don't have a job outside the home, you're usually sitting at a desk to pay bills or balance the checkbook or write emails or whatever you do at your desk. Something like this is really nice because it's small, it's easy to take wherever you go, it's good for your shoulders. You can actually use it on your back, your legs, really anywhere you want to, your feet. And I like how you can take it in the car or keep it in your home. I think it's great. Or the office. It'd be a really great gift to give someone to keep in their office whenever they get like neck pain or upper back or shoulder pain. I think it's a great option for that. So for me, it's been really nice because I do tend to get just knot up all over the place in my shoulders. So it's really been helpful, and I wanted to share it with you guys. Okay, a couple of the things that I have to talk to you guys about. I am an idiot and I already put them away, but I wanted to share them with you anyway. So I'll put pictures in. On our most recent trip to Disney, I talked about this in a previous trip when it rained the entire time and our feet got soaked like every single day. So when we went back to Disney this year, I was like, I'm not doing that again. So I actually picked up some waterproof shoe covers from Amazon. They weren't terribly expensive, but you know, by the time you buy one for everybody, they're not like terribly cheap, but they are definitely reusable. So it's something you purchase once and they will last you for quite a while. So these waterproof shoe covers were, honestly, I would say one of the top 10 purchases I've made in my entire life. Even though it didn't rain as much as it did the year before we went to Disney, it did rain. For one day, it rained a good couple hours solid. So we put them on that day. We walked around in the park with them on, in and out of the bathroom, in and out of rides. There was no issue. The only thing I will say is when you go in some of the stores, some of the floor can be slippery with them on. I think the floor was slippery anyway, and then having these on did make it a teeny bit more slippery. So just be careful. They do have some little rubber things on the bottom to kind of keep you keep a good grip. But still, it would be a teeny bit easier to slip and fall with these on probably than it would be with regular tennis shoes. So just be a little bit careful with that. But other than that, I mean, they are perfect. Our feet stayed perfectly dry. They're very forgiving in the size shoe that you can put them on. So I ordered a size large for me and my oldest daughter. I have a size 9 tennis shoe. She has a size 10 tennis shoe. And then my youngest daughter, who wears a 7.5 in women's, hers was a size medium. They fit her perfectly. Everybody was happy. Definitely get these waterproof shoe covers. They're a lifesaver. When I got back home, I just cleaned them up with some Lysol disinfectant, like cleaner spray. Let them dry out and then pack them. That's actually why I don't have them to show you. They're already packed in my suitcase for the next time that we go to Disney, but definitely recommend those. Another thing I have that I packed away, and I feel so bad. I feel like this is like the worst Amazon favorites ever because I've packed half of this stuff away. But I didn't realize that I was going to be making this video so soon. Anyway, before our trip to Disney, I wanted to find a a holder for my makeup sponge. I think pretty much a lot of us, if you use liquid foundation, you use some type of beauty sponge, whether it's a beauty blender or the Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge, I think is what it's called, that I use. Basically a face sponge to put your foundation on with. But when you travel with those, a lot of times they get smushed or they're not dry before you have to put them back in your suitcase to go back home or something. So I wanted to find a container to put them in to keep it safe. In a place where it could be not getting all smushed up. And I found this one on Amazon. It was really inexpensive. It actually came with a makeup sponge in it, which I have yet to use because I didn't really need to. I already had mine. So I don't really know about the quality of the sponge, but I didn't even know the sponge came with it. I was just buying it for the container, the little, the storage container. So I didn't have any idea it even came with a sponge. But I highly recommend this. It was a really good way to get my sponge to a vacation and back home from vacation without it getting dirty, without it getting other things dirty, without it getting smushed in my makeup bag. So I highly recommend a makeup sponge travel container. Also, something that I have been using for years and years and years, and you guys may already have these and you're probably gonna be like, yeah, Becky, thanks for that tip. Everybody already knows about this. But in case you don't know, I thought I would tell you. We actually have these little tiny mirrors that go on the side mirror of our car, or my van, I should say. My mom gave them to my husband a long time ago as a gift, and we have loved them and used them ever since. They make a huge difference in being able to see what's behind you when you're backing up, or if like somebody's coming up on you from behind, you can kind of see more because it gives you another angle. They're very inexpensive, and it's one of those things that you don't think is going to make a big difference until you actually use it, and then you realize it makes a huge difference. And the reason we know this, the one that we had, one of them broke, and so for a while we didn't have them, and I realized how just using my side mirrors that like came on the van were not enough, how much more I'm actually able to see, and I feel like how much more safely I'm able to drive by having those little mirrors. So definitely, if you do not have any extra mirrors on your side mirrors in your vehicles, I highly recommend these. They're pretty universal and will fit most side mirrors of any vehicle, and they make a huge difference in what you're able to see behind you. Something else that we have been loving that is part of my teenage daughter's bedroom decor now, and you're going to see that in her bedroom decor video, which I will be doing, I promise. I've been talking about it for months. You guys have been asking about like her after tour. It's done. I'm just waiting for the right time to film it. It's just been crazy around here. But we wanted to find some fairy lights to go in this glass dome that we have in her room. We got it from IKEA. But we wanted to find fairy lights that were not battery operated, because a lot of the fairy lights that you find, they are battery operated, and I'm like, I am not about changing these batteries every, couple weeks because they run out of batteries. So I was trying to find electric fairy lights. I did find some on Amazon. These are actually 99 feet long. They were really inexpensive. They have a bunch of different settings, so you can have constant on, you can have them flash, you can have them kind of brighten and then dim at different speeds and intervals. And it does have a timer feature if you want to have them on for a little while. But in her room, this is what we're using instead of a bedside table lamp. This is basically a lamp in her room. And they are plenty bright enough that she can read by them. She can turn them down more dimly and just keep them on at night for just a little bit of atmosphere. Or if she wants to get up in the middle of the night to go to the restroom or get a drink of water, she can turn these on and be able to see. So I've been really impressed with these. They are electric, and when I got them, they were super long, and I was thinking 99 feet, that's huge. But they're so tiny that when you kind of push them down, they will fit into small spaces, or you can stretch them out and use them on a tree in your house or a plant, or I think some people even use them on like an outdoor setting and like an umbrella. So really, really love those. They were really affordable. So far, they've held up really, really well. Speaking of kids, I actually have two things that I wanted to share with you guys. And I think I've talked about this one before, but I just cannot say enough good things about this book. I got this from Amazon years ago. It's the You Gotta Be Kidding Me, the crazy book of Would You Rather questions. I was reminded about how much fun this is. On our most recent trip to Disney, we drive. It takes about 13 hours. And so you get kind of bored sitting in the car and you try to plan and entertain your kids with stuff. But these questions are so funny, and there's something that everybody likes reading and answering, like would you rather. So just as an example, would you rather be born with an elephant trunk or a giraffe neck? Would you rather sit in a pit full of worms for a day or live in a room filled with rats for a week? And then it's got little facts at the bottom. It says worms don't have eyes, but they can sense light. They don't like light, however, because if they're in it for more than an hour, they become paralyzed. So it's not just funny, goofy stuff. There's also some educational stuff mixed in. Would you rather have clumps of hair growing on your tongue or have really long hair growing on the outside of your nose? So a lot of them are really funny and gross and nonsensical, but it's just a really fun book. It's pretty thick, and we have had this for years, and there's still some in there that we either haven't gotten to or we've forgotten about, and they're fun to answer all over again. So especially with so many people having road trips coming up this summer, or if your kids are bored, they're out of school and you want something fun for them to do that does not involve a screen, I highly recommend this book. I think they may even have other versions of this now. I'm not really sure. This one we've had for a long time, but I highly recommend that. And then also, if you guys know, both of my girls love to draw. They're obsessed with drawing pretty much all the time. My oldest daughter in particular wants to go into art and graphic design in college. So basically, after years of drawing and using Crayola markers, which there's nothing wrong with Crayola markers, but when it came to things that they really wanted to spend their time and make their best art that they could, they really wanted more high quality or artist level supplies. So if you guys know, Copic markers are a thing. They're very expensive professional grade markers that a lot of artists use. And they are very pricey, and they're not something that is in everyone's budget, or maybe they're not something you're interested in for a child or a young teen that is interested in art, but maybe not like hardcore crazy about it. You want them to have nicer markers than Crayola that don't streak, but you're not quite ready to spend the money on Copic. We actually got these from Amazon. This is the Ohuhu brand of markers. I feel like they're definitely an upgrade from Crayola, but they're not as expensive as Copic, but they're really good quality. So this is the set that my oldest daughter got before she got any Copics at all. She does have some Copics now, but she also uses her Ohuhus from time to time as well. They're double-sided, so you have more of the broad tip on one side and the fine point on the other side. There's all different size of these sets you can get. I don't remember how many markers there are, but tons of colors. It comes in this little bag, and I definitely think it's a great option for a child that wants to be an artist or takes their art pretty seriously, and is annoyed by the fact that when you try to color with Crayola markers, they streak, because they definitely do. These do not streak hardly at all. There's a couple that are more streaky than others, but for the most part, they have a really smooth application, and they're a definite step up from a Crayola marker. So great gift for kids. I highly recommend these. Actually, each girl has their own set now. Okay, two more things kind of in the beauty category. I guess I should have mentioned these earlier. The first thing, and you guys are gonna laugh at me, but I've talked about this before. I'm a fairly hairy person. I will shave and then like an hour later don't feel perfectly smooth anymore. I have a lot of body hair, and my arms especially too. I have a lot of hair on my arms, which I hate. It's bothered me my whole life. And I've heard about like hair minimizing things that you can try. I used to get my face waxed, and the girl then was like, oh, you should get a hair minimizing thing for your face. And I was like, no. But I finally decided to try one for my body because I wondered if it worked. I found this, and it had really good reviews. This is the Tree Hut Bare Hair Minimizing Body Butter. I've already been through one tub of this, and at first I had finished almost the whole tub, and I was like, this is not working. I don't notice any difference whatsoever. But right around the time that I got to almost the end of the first tub, I did start to notice that I wasn't having to shave as often. Definitely think it works. It's probably one of those things that works differently for everybody. So what worked for me to some extent may not work for you at all, or it may work for you amazingly and you don't have to shave for like days. I mean, I think everybody's gonna have a different experience. But if you're tired of shaving every single day, or shaving once in the morning and feeling like you're prickly by the time the nighttime comes, definitely give it a shot. It's not terribly expensive, and it's something that you can easily get and try. And if it doesn't work for you, you're not out a whole bunch of money. But I do think it works, and I feel like if it works at all for me, which like I said, I'm pretty hairy, I feel like it would probably work for you guys too. So look into that, read the reviews on Amazon. It's got tons of positive reviews. And I think it really does work. And speaking of being hairy, the last thing I'm going to share with you guys, and I'm probably the last person to talk about this, like everybody probably knows about this too. This is the Finishing Touch Women's Face Razor. I used to get my face waxed, like I said. I've done epilators, I've plucked, I've done like the little eyebrow razor all over my face. Like I've tried lots of different things, and I still do pluck here and there, and I still do epilate every now and again. But what I do most often, because it's the quickest and the easiest, is this. And this is basically a face razor for women. So pretty much whatever your husband or boyfriend would use, it's the same thing, but designed for women. This one actually has a little light when you turn it on. You can see that. So you can even see the really tiny little baby hairs. And then whenever it gets dull, you can just replace this head, which actually I need to replace mine. You can pick up the little replacement heads for these whenever it gets dull. Mine actually needs to be replaced right now. But I've had this thing for, I don't know, probably a year and a half. I use it pretty much every other day or so because that's typically when I start to see things come back up. I'm not going to say it doesn't give you any prickles because it's just like anything. It's just like shaving or epilating or waxing. Your hair is going to grow back and it's going to have a blunt tip on it. That's just kind of the way it goes. But it's definitely a lot quicker than waxing or going to get, you know, epilated or threaded or whatever people do to get rid of hair. It's a lot quicker. It's definitely painless. There's absolutely no pain at all with this because you're basically just shaving. Your results are not going to last like they would with waxing or epilation. They're going to, you know, you're going to have stubble within a couple days probably, but it's okay because in literally 30 seconds, I can get rid of it again. So it just makes me feel a lot more confident as somebody who does have a lot of facial hair, and it's mostly blonde, most of it. But still, in the lighting, you can see it, or if there's like a light shining over my head or from outside, I feel like people were constantly able to see my facial hair. This makes me feel a lot more confident, and it's something that I use every single week, multiple times a week, and I wanted to share with you guys in case you didn't know it existed. It does exist. It's amazing. It's affordable, and it makes you feel a lot more confident. Okay, so those are my Amazon favorites for this video. I shop on Amazon a lot, way too much. If you don't have an Amazon Prime membership, I actually have a link for you in the description box. This video is not sponsored, but I do have a link down there for a free 30-day trial of Amazon Prime. You can try it out and see how it goes. If you don't like it, then cancel it. That's fine. I've done that before too. But I do have an Amazon Prime membership now. This is my second year of having Amazon Prime, and I really like it because it's nice to have free 2-day shipping. A lot of things now are even shipping in 1 day, which is awesome. And we use it a lot for TV. Now that we don't have satellite, we use Netflix and Amazon Prime mostly to watch TV shows and movies, which you get access to whenever you have a Prime membership. So there's tons of benefits for having an Amazon Prime account that really makes that yearly fee worth it. So definitely try the free trial if you've never had Amazon Prime. Let me know in the comments too if you guys want to share what are some of your favorite things you've picked up from Amazon. Let me know what it is in the comments so I can check it out. It may be something that I need to have in my life too. So make sure you leave that in the comments for me, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.